Hey everybody, it's me again, the Grey
Hello, Grey
Man.
Maniacs.
Hi Manny. Okay, I'm joined today live from the Philippines. It's Manny Abaleda. I'm not sure if I've pronounced it correctly. Abaleda, is that correct?
Yes, Abaleda.
Abaleda. All right, cool. So how are you today? You good?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
finish some pages.
yeah. Because I
Been
know you do.
40 pages whole day.
Yeah, kind of. That's one of the things that you do on your channel, as well as showing off your hauls of what you bought. You also show sometimes your art, and you
Yeah.
work quite a lot in the comic industry as well. Is that like your full-time job, or is that?
Yes, now I'm full-time freelance for about a year. I've
Yeah.
been working for advertising for 12 years or something.
All right, cool. But now you sort of,
I just want to concentrate on comics, but
yeah, that's cool. So what was you working on today then?
I'm on page 7 on a kind of Civil War historical comic.
Okay.
It's It's about the first colored troops.
Oh,
It's
okay, yeah.
Higginson and Rivers kind of get a lot
Nice.
of reference, so we got a lot. I got a lot of revisions.
Right, yeah, yeah. You got to look up all the uniforms, make sure all the buttons are correct
Because
and all
it's
that.
historical and all the guns and the
Yeah,
uniform,
yeah. That must be quite a
even the
lot.
building. It's
That must be quite.
1800.
Yeah, that must be right. A lot of the work when you're doing something historical like that, it's got to be most of the work, isn't it? Looking up, making sure you got everything drawn correctly.
Yes,
Is that why you?
it's
Sorry,
go ahead.
that's right. I think we've got a bit of lag as well. I think we've got a bit of lag maybe going between us. So I'm kind of talking when you've just started talking. So we've got to watch out for that. I know you quite often show off on your channel the figures that you get, like for art. What they call, but it's like art figures. Like you got the horse the other day, didn't you? And you got the little posing figures.
Yeah.
That's for like art reference, isn't it?
Yes, art reference. Sorry about that.
Your dog. You got how many? Four.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a lot of dogs. Yeah, because are you rural there or are you in the city?
Yes, kind of in the city.
In the city, cool.
Yeah.
Right. So
Anyway.
I was very interested in finding out, like, being in the Philippines. What's it like being a comic collector and a comic fan there? Is it easy to get hold of your comic books? Because you've got
Yeah, we
quite a
got a lot
lot.
of
So,
comic shops here. We got a
yeah,
lot of comic shops here, and we got a really big community online. So you can buy online
that's
from
cool.
comic creators, from collectors.
That's
Uh, this,
good.
this,
I know
it's
that.
better now since
Right.
the 90s. There's no online, and it's harder to buy comics.
Yeah, that's true. The internet has made things a lot easier in a lot of ways, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know there's some people that in the UK and other places as well who like to collect foreign comics, and for them the Philippine like versions of the comics are quite hard to get hold of.
Yeah.
Did you grow up on those the Philippine
Yeah.
like reprints?
I love those reprints. I got a couple of, but they're not. It's hard to get it right now, and
Yeah,
there some collectors giving it up, and it's really pricey.
yeah. I've heard that because of the climate there and the paper quality of the old comic books wasn't like very sort of glossy. It was they kind of like deteriorated quite quickly. Is that true?
No, not really,
All right.
because if you protect your comics, it's not really that problem.
Yeah, as long as you got it in bagged and board, you're okay. That's cool.
Open board and comic book backs.
Yeah. So do you want to move on to talk about your comic memories then? Do you want to share your first comic with us that you want to talk about today? I'll put you on the big screen so we can see what you've got.
Let's start with this. This is a Batman comics, of course.
Ooh, got a lot of glare.
Oh, sorry.
It's quite glary.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a bit better. You've got a big light behind it.
Okay. This is Batman 385.
Right.
It's a comic that my brother and I had when we were kids.
Yeah.
A comic that you memorize all the panels
Yeah.
because you read it so many times.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's when you first start buying comic books. It's like you know
Yeah.
you just read them again and again and again, don't you?
But the funny thing is, I memorized all the panels, all the everything, but the cover, I didn't recognize the cover
Okay.
because our original comics didn't have a cover.
All
this is
right.
this is the original comic.
Ah, I see.
I really don't remember how my big brother got the comic or
Yeah.
who gave it to us.
How long ago was that then? Was you like how old was you when you first got your first comic?
Oh man, we were just kids, you know.
Yeah.
We were kids in the 80s. This actually inked by Alfredo Alcala.
Oh yeah.
Just is a Filipino comic book artist too.
That's cool. Was that an influence for you? The fact that there was someone out there who, like, from your own country, who was doing art for comic books. Was that something that made you go, "Oh, I could do this"?
Yeah, there's a lot of big influence like Will Portacio. He's a great Filipino comic part. I actually studied under him in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
It's the creator of Bishop. I studied under him in 1996.
Okay.
He held a class here in the Philippines. That's where I met Lionel Yu, J. Anacleto, J. Kalilan, a lot of comic book artists, which I know up to now.
That's
okay,
good.
here's the second book. This is.
Oh, you want to move on to the second one already? Okay, we'll talk a bit more about that first one. We don't want to go through them too quickly.
This is Fables #1.
Oh yeah,
we
cool.
all know this is really famous book.
Yeah, I like that. I've read a few trades of that.
Fables #1. I actually know the artist. I always go to his home, Lan Medina. I consider him as a good friend and a mentor. I always go to his home and show him my artwork for critics and tips. I love going to his house and seeing his original pages is just magical, man. When you see his original page, he's such an underrated artist for my co. And I actually saw these pages when he was doing it.
That's
Fables
cool.
#1.
Yeah.
And to my surprise, he actually drew me inside it.
He drew you inside the comic?
Yes.
Oh man. You need to turn. Have you got a light on? So it's really bright. It's hard to see, like beaming straight on the pages when you look at it. I don't know if you got light behind the computer or something.
Wait, I'm gonna turn the camera on.
Yeah, maybe that might be an idea. Oh, that's a little bit less.
This one, I was holding the door for Prince Charming.
Okay. Is that you?
Yeah. I got a lot of hair still here.
Yeah, you got a little beard there. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's very good. That's very neat.
Well, I never really. It's really unexpected.
Yeah.
To be immortalized in a comic, in a really famous comic like Fables, man. Fables #1.
That's cool. That is good stuff. Have you ever considered buying any like actual pages from him, or does he sell his pages? Are they really expensive?
Yeah, it's really expensive.
Yeah,
but I get a lot of free sketches from him, from La Medina.
That's cool.
And he actually gave me a lot of free comics, because his DC editor gave him a lot of comics.
All right. Does he read the comics himself, or is he just like
yes.
Yeah, all right, he does read them as well?
He's a great collector.
Right, okay. Guys, I was just imagining like if there's people who actually just do the art and aren't interested in the characters, just do the art for a job, but not interested in reading them.
He actually have those old UK magazine from Miracle Man, like that.
Oh yeah.
Collector. He's really an old guy anyway. Lan Medina's before he was Will Portacio got him international comics. He was really a 80s legend in the local Filipino comic book industry.
Right.
Was really great artist.
So he's been around a long time then.
Yeah, it's been around a long time.
When you was first getting into comics and as a kid, what were the characters that you gravitated towards? And was it like one company? Was it Marvel, DC, or was it all the comics?
My brother and I is mostly DC.
Right.
Like you, man.
Yeah, yeah. You've watched my videos. Yeah, I've got a lot of DC, I must say.
We love Super Friends probably because of the TV show of 80s TV show Super Friends.
Okay, cool.
And the Superman movies.
Yeah.
That's why we gravitate towards DC.
I don't think we ever got the Super Friends cartoon in the UK. I don't think I've ever seen a Super Friends.
Oh.
Like, yeah, I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I'm trying to collect that run now. Like, they're hard to get hold of, the Super Friends run. I've only managed to find 2 so far in the wild. It's like, if I ever want to get the run, I'm going to have to probably buy them all from mycomicshop.com or something like that. It probably cost me a bomb. So I'm going very slow with that one.
I love the TV series when we were kids.
Yeah. I've not seen that. That's quite old now, isn't it? Was it how long did it go on for, that TV series? I know it's kind of like iconic, isn't it? A lot of people of a certain age, it's one of they grew up with it.
It introduced Justice League.
Right. And you got the Wonder Twins, haven't you? I think they were invented. They were invented just for the cartoon, weren't they? Yeah.
On the TV series, they were created.
Yeah.
Wonder Twins.
I think they had a little series recently as well, didn't they? They had their own series recently on. Was it Young?
I got that series. It's really great.
You got it? Did you get it? Yeah. Because one of them could turn into any animal, and the other one could turn into any form of water, isn't it? The other one could turn. Yeah. That's a bit of a weird power, isn't it? To turn into any form of water.
Monkey Link.
Yeah, crazy one. Have you read all of that, Fables? I've got about I don't know, 10 of the trades. It's a pretty cool series.
I'm missing a couple of trades.
Yeah,
I love the series.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff.
Have you got a favorite character, like above all others?
Spawn probably. From Fables, or from all comics.
Who is it? Sorry.
From Fable books. From the Fable books.
Oh, right, yeah.
Probably Big B.
Oh, right, yeah.
Big B.
Yeah.
But my favorite character is probably Batman.
Right, but Batman is there. So, if you had the chance, like, would it be like, to draw, to do art for any comic whatsoever? Would it be Batman that you'd want to do? You'd want to draw for?
Wow, that'd be scary.
Yeah, he would be rather scary.
Love to draw Spawn.
Yeah. I saw your Spawn that you did. You did a colouring of Spawn, didn't you? Was that your own ink that you were colouring in a little while ago on your channel?
Digital.
Digitally. Is that how you normally draw? Do you normally draw digitally, or do you normally draw?
I draw 100% digital now.
Right.
It's much faster and easier to revise.
Yeah.
But I love traditional too.
Yeah, that's cool. Let's go on. Should we move on to your third comic book now? Your third one that you want to show? Let's have a put you on big screen. Spawn. Yeah. Is that your It was the 90s, like a really good time for you with comics? 8. Yeah.
This is issue 8. This is my first Todd McFarlane book. This is
your first what? Sorry.
Todd McFarlane book.
Oh, first Todd McFarlane book, right?
We grew up in DC and we don't know Marvel.
No, that's true.
Todd is Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
I actually bought this and issue 9.
Right.
Issue 9 is the new in the brand new in the stand, and I bought this issue 8 and issue 9.
Right.
And I've been buying Spawn ever since.
Right, that's cool.
I just fell in love with the character, fell in love with the the concept of it, the artwork, and fell in love with Todd McFarlane's attitude. You know, his
Right.
attitude like, if you can do it, I can do it also.
Yeah.
It's really like hard ass kind of guy, you know.
Yeah. He gets things done, and he like goes there and goes out and grabs what he wants to do, doesn't he? He's got his own.
Yeah.
He's got his toy line. He's got his
Storyline,
yeah.
and comic, his own movie.
He's definitely got an attitude to get things done, hasn't he? Like a lot of people would just be happy just to do the art, but he's like broke off, formed his own company, and you know, must be a millionaire by now, I'm sure, easily. Yeah. So, have you got a? Do we ask if you've got a favorite artist yet? A favorite art style? Who do you like? Who do you see you mimic your art on, or who's influenced you in your own art?
Got a lot of influences, but Todd McFarlane is probably number one. Greg Capullo, Bart Sears, and Joe Quesada.
Right. So you're more fan like of the modern style. You don't like dig the old Silver Age kind of style of comic books.
I love Jim Aparo, but he's not Silver Age.
Yeah, no, it's more your bronze. But yeah, he's a good old artist, Aparo. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Was that with the artist on? No, it wasn't the artist on your first comic, was it? That was a Philippines artist, wasn't it?
Like Will Portacio.
Right.
Oh, he became a teacher.
Yeah.
Of course, I like Len Medina's art, and those Filipino classic artists like Alfredo Alcala, Nestor Redondo, Alex.
I wasn't sure if Nestor Redondo where he was from. I like he did art. Rima Jungle Girl. He did a run of Rima. That was so beautiful. He's like he's kind of wistful, kind of wistful, ethereal kind of style, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cisco Conching is one of those classic artists.
Yeah. Old Paolo, he knows loads of stuff about comic books. He reads from all over the place. I don't know if you're following in his channel or not, but he's got lots of good knowledge. So, Spawn. So that's the thing about Spawn. I saw you when you coloured him in, I can't remember, you inked him. I can't remember what you did now, but I was out on your channel and I was looking at it. And I go, that's so difficult. He's got so much. No, you actually drew the whole thing, didn't you? He's got so many chains. He's got so many spikes. Like he's got to be the hardest, most difficult costume to draw, surely.
Yeah, but it's hard to draw, but it's fun to draw because you get to play with a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's part of the design, like.
Yeah.
You got to play with capes. You got to play with everything. Spikes.
Yeah. I suppose it's that kind of challenge of drawing a costume like that kind of helps you to improve because it helps you to remember where to put things and think about how the chains are going to go, how the cape's going to go. And all the while you're sort of playing in that in your head and thinking of the flow and all that kind of thing. Okay, it must help to make you grow as an artist during that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the challenge.
Yeah, cool. So of your own art, of the characters that you've drawn that maybe other people wouldn't have heard, what's your favourite piece that you've drawn yourself? Is there like a particular panel where you're like, oh man, that's my best drawing I've ever done? Is there anything like that, or they're all kind of on the same level?
Actually, I'm my hardest critic.
Yeah.
But I got a couple of favorites, like some comics that I got. I have this my own comic Soul Keeper. It's kind of like Spawn. I love.
Right.
It's I created back in the 90s, 98 or 99. I actually showed it to Will Portacio, and Will Portacio loved it.
Cool.
And but Will's migrated back to the US, so we never got that printed.
Oh, that's a shame. So it's never actually come out yet.
Actually, finished my first issue a couple of months back, but I haven't really edit it.
Right.
But just for me.
Right. But is that...
I've been drawing comics for everybody, and I just want to draw my own.
Yeah. So eventually that will be your plan. Eventually we will see art, like story art, all by you, all by Manny Aveleda, and you'll be...
That'll be a dream.
Yeah. Well, if you keep sort of working for people, maybe sort of build your way up. There's no reason, I'll look out for them. I'll buy them once they come out, mate. So you have maybe do your own company. You have your own rival to Image Comics.
I hope so.
All right. Should we have a look at your next comic?
Okay. This is Piece of Weapon number 1.
Piece of Weapon. Never heard of that one.
This is actually my first comic I did way back in 1996.
I see your signature there. I see the Aveleda. Yeah.
My big brother is the writer here.
Oh, right. Your big brother's the writer, yeah?
Yes. We actually begged our mom to give us money to publish the comic.
Oh, right. Got a question from Werewolf by Lunchtime. What do you think of Travis Charest?
I really love his art. I love his Wildcats X-Men book.
Oh, right.
It's one of those things. But I don't know if it's the story is true, but I know who. I think Miko Swayan said that to me, the story that he quit comics because he married a millionaire. I don't know if it's true, but...
Right. Well, it's a good work if you can get it. I wish my girlfriend was a millionaire. That would save me a heck of a lot of trouble. Thank you, Mystery Knights Brown, for coming in. I don't know if I've seen your channel before. Leave a comment down below and I can sub you up, because I don't know if I've subbed to you already. If you're making content, is that a friend of yours? Do you know that Mystery Knights Brown?
No, I haven't.
Oh wow! This is the first time I've seen that name. I don't remember seeing him before. So what happens in that comic book then? What's the?
My brother. We first produced the Ashcan, and my brother sent a couple of Ashcan to creators.
Right.
We get a couple of great response from locally and internationally. From Jerry Alan Gillen, Budget Tan, Wills Portasio, and internationally we got Dave Sim from Ceribus. He actually gave us a couple of books how to self-publish.
That's cool.
From Marcus Lass of Tales from the Bog, he gave us a couple of comics. And Andrew Vax, the writer, he's a great writer, crime novelist and comic writer.
Oh wow!
Andrew Vax, he loved the comics, and he even put this in his website, one of his favorite comics.
That's cool. How many did you get printed?
What?
How many did you get printed up?
1,000 copies.
Right.
And one of the biggest names that we got, what we really jumped for joy, is we got the Will Eisner quote. Will Eisner actually sent us letter. Oh, sorry for the glare, man.
Yeah, it's not the highest quality picture.
We got, it's really, in the 90s, it's really a big deal when you get a Will Eisner quote.
Yeah.
And it's really nice for him to write a written letter and saying, he actually said, as a first effort, it holds a lot of promise.
Yeah, and that's good.
That really boosts my confidence, because my artist here is very good. This is my first comic, man.
Yeah.
And really, like, wow.
Yeah.
That's Will Eisner, man.
Yeah. I mean, because you can't expect to be like, the greatest straight out of the box. The very first thing you do, you've got to grow and you've got to build yourself. And for someone who's been there and done that, to say, "Oh yeah, I can see what you're doing. I can see you. This is good. Yeah, keep working at it." That's a good thing. And that's what you've been doing. That's what you've been doing. It's too easy in life. Like it's too easy in life to like give up on stuff because like you get self-confidence problems or whatever. But you just got to keep on plugging away and doing it. And the more if you give up on yourself, then you've lost. You've got to keep on believing and striving to achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about your brother? Is he still writing comics?
He's a lawyer now.
He's a lawyer. But does he write comics for you still? Is he there like when you need him?
He loves to write comics too, but he actually got picked by Will Portacio first before me as a writer.
Okay. All right. Cool. What for?
To make a sequel for the Stone miniseries.
All right.
But it never got released.
Never got published.
Yes, it never been published.
Oh, that's
but
a shame.
They got plans for it back in the 90s.
Okay, but like once you start building, once you've got your studio up and running, like when you've made a few money and you started putting your own comic line out, he'll come back. He'll give up the lawyer job and he'll come and start writing. He'll come and start writing Pieces of Weapon for you, like once you can afford to pay him.
That would be great. Yeah. But he's a great comic collector too.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. I had like two brothers and a sister, and like they wouldn't buy comics, but they'd read my comics. Yeah, it's a shame if they bought comics too. I could have read their comics, but no, they always wanted to read my comics, but they wouldn't buy their own. Dear. Right, let's move on. What other stuff have you done of your own then? So you've done Pieces of Weapon, and have you got any other sort of like characters? Have you got like a favorite character of your own that you've created that one day you'd like to?
I actually got my own comic, The Soul Keeper.
Soul Keeper, that one, yeah.
I don't have it right here.
All right. But hopefully you'll get that one then. So what is the premise of, is it Soul Keeper or Soul Creeper?
Soul Keeper.
Soul Keeper.
It's actually a fallen angel.
Right.
It's the story of the fallen angel with Lucifer.
Right, yeah.
They were exiled from heaven. So he resides here on earth and he just want to go back to heaven.
Right.
So you get this book where the most dumb will be listed. And before they died, he killed those bad people and he stored it in his glass. So he keep their souls,
right,
like those bastards or something, so that those souls won't go to hell and not strengthen Lucifer's army. Kind of
right. So he's kind of collecting souls and stopping them from going to hell, so Lucifer doesn't get more strong. Is he going to try and collect them souls to buy his way back into heaven or something like that?
Yes. But the thing is, heaven never notice what he's doing. Kind of like that.
Yeah. Yeah, God doesn't listen to prayers a lot of the time.
It's kind of heavily influenced by the Dogma movie, Kevin Smith.
Okay. Dogma, yeah. So it sounds like he's got touches of Preacher and all sorts in there. Really, you think about Lucifer, the series of Lucifer. It could be a good one, mate. You have to keep working on that. keep. But it's not actually Lucifer, though, is it? Your one, it's a different angel. It fell at the same time, or is it actually Lucifer? It's another angel.
Yeah. It's not Lucifer. It's another archangel.
Yeah, because a lot of them were chucked out.
His main nemesis hit there in the comic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. That sounds like fun. Sounds interesting. So you have to get working on that when you finish your Civil War stories. How do you sort of do your work? Are you just like working for one comic at a time, or are you working for a couple of different comic books at the same time?
Actually doing two comics now.
Okay.
The historical Civil War comic got a more tighter deadline than the other one. So the Civil War, I must finish 4 pages in a week. So it's more tighter.
What's your kind of drawing rate? Is that how many do you, like how many pages a day do you do?
A page a day
is good rate.
Is a good rate.
Right. Okay. I know nothing about art. I can't draw for toffee.
And I just finished. I'm doing cards for Toronto Infamous 6. I just finished another card of it, so that's what I've been doing.
Okay, cool. Right. Hello, I'm Monica Man. Okay, let's move on. Is it your last comic now? I think one to your last comic, I believe.
This is Screech #1 by Greg Capullo. It's Screech #1. I'm going to take it out of the plastic.
Screech
#1. This is Greg Capullo's creator-owned comic.
Okay. I've never heard of that one.
The story behind this is there's a time in my life that I had to work away from my family and away from my comic book collection for a couple of years.
All right.
I'm actually a marine engineering graduate. Back in 2009, I think, I worked at a ship engine room for 2 years. So for 2 years, I had to bring a comic with me.
Right.
And this is the comic I bought.
Right.
The miniseries 1 to 3. Hey, Greyman, I got a question for you.
You right.
What is the comics that you will bring if you're gonna be out of your home for a couple of years?
Oh, man.
That's really hard.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I got to. What will I read and read every day?
Oh man, I'd have to get like an electronic device and like make it all digital. I'd have to like fill it full of digital comics, like.
Of course, now it's more easier because of the digital comics.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but back in the day when you didn't have that much choice, you good point. Yeah, it would be a bit, one that you have to read again and again and again. It would. So you must know.
You always have to itch on reading comics. So you have to bring a comic with you.
It'd have to be something big, I suppose, something big and fat, like an old compendium or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, wow.
That space is the problem in your bag.
Yeah.
If you're gonna be bringing a companion with you.
That would be a good idea for a contest, mate. If you ever do a contest on your channel, you'll have to use that as a question.
That'll be good.
Yeah. So, what is that comic about? I've never heard of that comic. What happens in that one?
It's actually creator owned of Greg Capullo. I love his art, and this is like his heart and soul.
Right.
And it's got this letter inside that about professionalism in an artist, and he said there's a lot of professional comic book artists that that he meet in the comic book scene that it's just it's not really that professional because they can't do a monthly book.
Right.
But Greg Capullo did draw this Screech, write this Screech, created this Screech when he was doing Spawn 2. So he's doing 2 books. So that's professionalism in this. And the art is really great.
Yeah.
Even he's doing 2 books at the time.
Right, yeah, it must be tricky. So, but what actually is Screech though? Is it like a superhero, or is it a horror story, or?
It's kind of like a mix of alien blood mixed in clone to become a superhero, kind of like that.
Oh right, okay, that's interesting. I was thinking as well about going back to your Soul Keeper. Because the Philippines is is it quite a religious country? So is something like Soul Keeper, like demons and that, would that be frowned upon, or are people quite open about that kind of thing there? It's not like it's ostracized or anything.
I don't know.
Okay.
But we get a lot of religion stuff.
Yeah. But it's not like super conservative or anything like that, where people would, people are going to come and burn your comic book for having demons in it.
Gonna type me in in a mistake.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. So what else have you got coming up? You got anything coming up on your channel? You need because you were doing like stuff where you were showing your art. You haven't done that. I've not seen any art on your YouTube channel for a while.
Yeah, pretty busy.
Oh yeah.
Comic books are just comic hole right now, or comic collection probably, because it's more easier to shoot instead.
Yeah, it's true.
If you have time, and if I have extra time, probably make more comic art pages.
Are there any other YouTubers in the Philippines? You're the only YouTuber from the Philippines that I know that does comic books. I mean, have you got, like you say, there's quite a good community there, but is there anyone else doing YouTube, or is it just you?
Nah, I really don't know anybody doing YouTube, but there's doing YouTube, but mostly on local comic book.
Right. Yeah. Are they still going the Philippine reprints? Are they still like an ongoing thing? Is there still companies there bringing out the reprint comics?
No, not that I know of.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of died off there, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
actually, there's actually they did the reprint because the local comics have died down, and they actually have to publish something.
Right.
I think it's back in the 90s when they did the reprints.
Right. Okay. So that's how you kind of started off in your comic book comic book realm anyway. Apparently there's another Paolo follows someone called Joshua. His channel's called Average Comic Book Channel. We'll have to look out for that one. Apparently he's a Filipino creative as well. Any other well, I suppose you're so busy with your artwork you can't really do anything on your YouTube other than like hauls.
Yeah, probably hauls and probably toy reviews.
Oh yeah, yeah. So do you collect, like, do you get a monthly pull list as well, or is it just you go and
pull list?
You got a monthly pull list as well, and is it all DC?
DC, Image.
Yeah, your regular Spawn
and Batman.
Yeah, cool.
A lot of different stuff.
Yeah. So I suppose I can't think of anything else to ask now. Really thinking about it, I probably might have to call that a day for now. Unless you've got anything else you want to discuss? Any other questions?
I like to thank you personally for helping me.
No worries, mate. I think it's cool to.
You're one of the few YouTubers that got me noticed. Like Slim and 64 page special.
Yeah.
Give me a shout out. For helping me, man.
No worries, mate. I think it's cool to find out like people collecting in other countries, and it just goes to show that these comic books are just loved worldwide, and it's like that's really cool.
Yeah.
Are there any like Philippine superheroes? I can't think of any Filipino superheroes from the comic books even.
There's a lot of Filipino comic book heroes. There's comic 13 from Budgetan and Kajo. They'll be being produced in Netflix. They got really Philippine mythology under there.
Right.
13. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cheers, mate.
Netflix animation of 13.
Okay. It's a bit hard to hear you sometimes. There's a bit of like dogs in the background, and there's a bit of noise and cars going past. So I can't always hear what you're saying. All right. Thanks for coming on. Hopefully, chat to you again sometime in the future, maybe. And I'll keep an eye out for your haul videos and that. You have to come on Cover Slingers or something one day.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Thanks for coming on, mate. Cheers, everyone, for watching. See you later.
Thanks. for watching.
Bye.